these are predominantly known as the service industry, right? And they are doing this service management job like decades now. And so the question comes is like, so that is the one of the area which is, or that sector is one of the sector which definitely going to have the more and more opportunity to implement the AI. And that was the thought came in my mind, and I just thought that okay, so let's understand that how we can do this thing. Okay, now before I go into the details of it, the important thing or the expectation I want to set here is, see, there are a lot of AI tools for the infrastructure applications. You just name it and you'll find the AI tools. So today, are we going to see the AI tools? And so the answer is maybe not. But one important aspect, and that is from the service industry perspective or the ITSM perspective, is prerequisite. Okay, so everyone wants to be implement AI, right? They want AI to be implemented. But then are we ready for it? Is our service industry, is our ITSM area is ready for it? So that's the biggest question. Okay. Once we get to know that, okay, I do have this prerequisite in the place, then I can think about which is the tool and other things. And then we'll move forward, right? Only because it's a buzzword in the industry, I think we should not jump on the gun. We should understand that what exactly is needed if I want to implement the AI into the ITSM, right? So to start with, I'll start with very basics. I always call it a basics because see, it's more important to understand what exactly it means. Now, many people see that ITSM, the moment we say the ITSM, the most of the people talk about, okay, it is the service managed by the ITIL best practices, right? And that is true. But is it only bound to the that part? The answer is no. Okay. So when we talk about the ITSM, that is IT service management, we actually talk about not only the process, procedure, policies, but each and every aspect that is required to deliver the service to the end user. Any value added aspect. Okay. So not only the processes, and that's the reason if you see the key components of ITSM, you'll find that process and function that we are very much aware of, which is the incident, problem, change, service request, configuration. You just name it, any ITIL process that fall there. But there are the other frameworks than the ITL also. So ITL is one of the framework, but we have COVID, we have ISO, we have other Agile is there. So all those kind of a framework and standard is also the part of ITSM. Okay, so it's more than what we know as a ITSM associated with the ITL, which is true, but not the full truth. Then the another aspect in which covers under the ITSM is the tools and technology. The tools and technology that we are using, that also come here. Okay, now when I say the tools, it's not only again the ticketing tool. Most of the people know ServiceNow, HPSM, BMC, Remedy, or say Helix nowadays. So is it only that? No, we have the different tools like monitoring tools are there, compliance tools are there, reporting tools are there. So that kind of all tools and technology is also the part of the ITSM, and obviously the automation and AI. So AI is already there, right? So it always consider that AI is going to make our life easy. So that's about the what exactly the ITSM mean. Okay, the brief around. It's more than ITL. It also has the more frameworks and the standard into it. It also talks about the tools and technology other than the ticketing tools, and definitely the automations and AI part was always there. Now coming to the understanding of AI. Okay, so AI, it's artificial intelligence, which means that it the intelligence that factor, the intelligence that human brings, how we can bring that same intelligence through system. Okay, there are multiple reasons that why someone must have thought about bringing the AI, right? The effectiveness, not tiring work, uh, error, like human error, very common concept we use, right? So those kind of just taking out the error. So a number of things are there that someone must have thought about bringing the AI. So what
Praveen sir,
we
Chandrakant here. I just
yeah.
wanted to, like, people are not able to see the full screen. So if you could make that
Oh,
full screens, it will be easy for them to, because someone may be using smaller laptop or mobile. That may be.
is it? But let me just a second. Sorry, guys. Uh, screen two, yeah. Okay. Now is it completely visible or it is same?
Yes, visible now. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Sorry, it was a split screen, so I thought I selected the screen too, but it was on a screen. Sorry for that. Okay, so coming back to the artificial intelligence part. So we are talking about the human intelligence, how that can be bring into the machines, right? And then the most important aspect that brought by the by say AI people is the first is the learning. Okay, so how we can get the information. Okay, so how we can understand from the information and learn from it. Okay, and once you learn from the information, you become knowledgeable. So that's how the knowledge get decided, and that we call the KB articles and all. The second thing is the reasoning. Okay, so there are some kind of reasoning, like there are some kind of rules that we will apply which will take us to the conclusion. So that's the second part that most of the AI tools are using. And third is the self correction. Self correction is nothing but keep learning based on the, so first two factors help to correct the things, right? So this is what overall AI talks about in nutshell or in a layman language. The key components of AI is, one is the machine learning. So machine learning do have the three important things. It's a supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Now, what is this? Supervised learning means something which is already in the place. So a very simple example I'll give you. Whenever any mail come, it has the label, right? So if someone has put the label to that mail as a spam, so that spam word will be used. So that's called the supervised learning. So that become the learning aspect for the AI to understand that if there is a spam word, just take that mail out and then put under the spam, right? Unsupervised learning is nothing but, which is nothing, not having a defined label, but it has the data on which it performs the some kind of analysis. So just for example, if there are the shopping mall and then customers are coming there and doing the shopping, so trend of shopping or how people are buying the things, based on that they do the categorization of the customers, and that called the unsupervised learning. While the reinforcement learning is nothing but AI get awarded for the good work has been done and punished for the bad work has been done. So basically, if the success is positive, or if there is a successful result, then there will be some kind of what we can say the reward to it, and based on that they learn. So AI to learn. So that called the reinforcement learning. Similarly, we have the natural language processing, which is nothing but the text analysis. So understand the normal text that we use or the closure code in ITL world. If incident management is there, and if you are putting some closure codes or some kind of comments there, so understand those, right? Speech recognition. So based on your way of talking, and then it will get. Computer vision is there, robotics is there, and then another is the expert system, which is helps to for the decision making. Now all these things come under the AI. So that's very in a short, like what is the ITSM, what is the AI? Okay, so we will understand that. Okay, I stand here, and this is what AI is talking about. Now, just moving forward, then what exactly stops, or what exactly the areas that these companies like? Have you ever thought that if AI is so hit, why not everyone is just coming and start using the AI tools? Why? So there is a service now tool in most other companies. Why we just don't buy the now agent and then start doing the things, right? Why we just don't onboard the any AI tools in a monitoring area? And so there is some kind of preventers, and there are some kind of accelerators also which help us to do these things. Okay, so let's understand that in a ITSM world, which are these things. Now, to start with the preventers, the first important thing that we all need to understand that, and that's a question everyone has: does AI going to take out my job? Okay, and see that exactly the point number one is the lack of education. Now, many times people say that, hey, anyone who is a skilled person, he will not lose his job. Perfectly fine. But the people who are on a ground, like a service desk agent, he is in a trauma that, okay, so AI is doing chatbot is there. It's talk about the predictive analysis. It's talk about the RCAs are coming out, and it's talk about the resolutions, the suggestion of the resolution. So those kind of things are already in the place, and there is this trauma in the such operational people that what will happen if AI comes? Will I lose the job? See, there is an answer, like it could be a debatable answer, but the one important thing which I personally feel is like, if you are aligned with AI, if you are aligned with AI, you know how to use the AI or that tools in your day-to-day work. Then remember, guys, what AI helps us. AI help us to give you the best possible solutions, best possibilities, right? And that best possibility, possible solutions, or whatever the suggestion, conclusion is totally based on the information that we have provided and the records and all the data that we have collected, stored, and that has been used, processed by AI, right? So ultimately, we cannot forget the fact that human intelligence, okay, that's one important thing. Second thing, business acumen. Now, there is still a long time where AI will think that, okay, so strategical decisions can be taken in. Yeah, it can provide you the data to take the strategical decisions. But ultimately, what is my vision? What is my goal? How much budget I have? What kind of a next 5 years plan is in the place? All these things are the human skills, right? All these things human will bring. Another important thing that human will bring is the experience, the thing which is in your head, right? The challenges that you have faced, the areas that you have learned in whatever the experience years you had. Like I have say around 20 years of experience now. So whatever I have learned is there, and that helps me to take some decision, and that we call the wisdom. So after knowledge, so right, data, then it become information, information become the knowledge, and then knowledge become the wisdom. Wisdom is the ability of a human to react in the situation. So that kind of a things are happening around AI, but then it's definitely going to take time. And that's the reason it's very, very important. Whenever you're thinking about onboarding the AI, first we need to stand in front of our workforce and make them educated about it. That what exactly is going to do and how we still need humans, which are the areas where we need humans to perform the task, right? Yes, there will be some kind of definitely the impact because the tool is going to come in and it's tirelessly going to do the work. It is going to save the time. So those kind of things are definitely going to happen. But I think that's exactly the balance we have to do. We have to understand that how to balance our day-to-day work, being smart and using the tools. So lack of education is one of the thing which prevents most of the companies. Like they feel what I can say, they feel that okay, there is a threat. Okay, so there is a something which is coming on our way and it will take job or all those kind of things, right? Another second thing is the shadow IT. Now, what is the shadow IT means? See, human, even though they are learning, and so it always come, and we have seen this in a very, I'll not, so pardon me, but it's like, we have seen in Indians that we come up with the alternate solutions, right? Work around very quickly. In our language, you call it jugaad. So basically what we do, instead of investing a lot of money on something fancy which is going to give a good result, best result, we always try to look for what I can do with my existing resources, being it's a hardware resource, software resource, whatever it is, and we try to implement some kind of a solution out of it. Like, okay, this is helping me to solve my day-to-day job, why to invest on AI, right? And that is how, so it helps them to improve the productivity, but then the way it is happened, it may not be the secure, right? It may not help your vision to onboard AI. You are not setting up the data. You are not making sure that the platform is created to tomorrow onboard any AI tool. So that lacking of that vision or the long-term planning is what happens under the show IT. Like this is the job. Okay, why to invest? I'll do some basic programming, some code, some basic application, and okay, your job done. Let's see whenever there's a big issue. So that kind of attitude or approach falls under the shadow IT. And the third important thing, which again prevent, is the improper change management. We suddenly just bring some kind of a tools in our environment. We suddenly just, so there is a program team, there is a project team, which are very technical. Have we ever thought that bringing this, there is a buy-in, okay, the strategical buy-in is there, but what about the end user, right? What about the, so, there is a definition of value co-creation, which means that how I can create a value together. So I am as a supplier, I am as a service provider bringing the AI is a one aspect, but how my end user is going to utilize that, how the use of that AI will be helpful to him or her or that whole community. So it's very, very important that how we manage that change. Second thing is that you need to understand that your company's culture, right? So there could be the ethical dilemmas like, hey, so is it like going to use my personal data? Is it like to, so what going to happen here? If there is any copyright things, a number of things are there, right? And people do have these kind of things. Country wise, there are the regulations, right? Project wise, there are some regulations. Some people just don't want their data to be observed. Like there are the tool called say next thing is the one of the tool, if you have heard about. So that tool actually hit your laptop, see what is happening on your laptop. The main purpose of that tool is to identify if there are any challenges in your hardware. Based on that, it creates a different report. But then many people say that, hey, you are accessing my tool, so my laptop, so I'm not comfortable with that. So those kind of a delay. So this is very much important that a change management can be played in a better way. So guys, these are the high level some preventers nowadays which needs to be worked upon. And if you ask me personally, I think the awareness is the one of the important key here. People are just making everyone scared about like, hey, AI is coming and this will happen, that will happen. I think it's important to understand that what exactly the tool is bringing on the table and how that particular thing is going to solve my thing. Yeah. Then there are some positive sides also. There are escalators. The first important thing is the ESM. Now, nowadays people are moving from ITSM, SIAM, any process area, they are moving to the enterprise service management. The reason behind enterprise service management is it actually gives us a wider area. Okay, or you can say a larger playground other than the process, other than the IT. And that's the reason nowadays we incorporate HR functions, finance, right? Recruitment process, all those kind of a thing, facility, admin, legal, contractual things like documentation, validation, compliance check, and all that. So all these things come under the umbrella of enterprise service management. If I just keep it in a shorter way, so it's more than the ITSM, it's more than the IT. These are the functions which are not direct IT, but those are required. So that gives us the more space, right? So our thought process then become, okay, if it's IT is already set, there are a lot of good things in happening through AI. Why not jump to the HR? Why not jump to the finance? Right? So that's one of the, you can say, the escalator. The second thing is the knowledge management. If you really have a good knowledge base in your organization, you are having a good CMDB in the place, you have the good number of KB articles created, you have the good SOPs in the place. Okay, so if that things are there, then it actually help us to create a good platform for AI, right? Then digital transformation program. So there are the different types of programs that we have, which is nothing but the initiatives to like funding and all those things. So that is another thing. And last but not least is this self-service culture. Guys, nowadays you must have seen everything is available on a mobile. Now we just want to select the way I need a dish, I need a cake, what kind of essence is needed. Everything can be done. So self-service culture is the mentality that is coming in the end user, and I think that is the one of the very important trigger for the any AI, being it's a technology or being it's any kind of implementation that you are going to do. So identify those places that, okay, it's not only the resetting the password. We have to think more than that. Okay, how we can improve the customer experience. Okay, so those kind of things uh, fall under the self-service culture. So these are some preventers and accelerators, I'll say that, to implement the AI. Now moving to the next important aspect, that, okay, so I understand ITSM, I am in ITSM, I know what is the AI, I know I need to put some efforts on making people aware of AI, I know that I am in a good shape of ESM, I know that knowledge management is good. Then what is the next, what is my step to bring this AI in my ITSM world, right? And this is the part that I would like to discuss with you. Okay, so these are some logical steps I have put it, guys. Okay, so this is not like you can call it as a path, but these are the logical step. I'll put it in that way, like how exactly the you can call it a prerequisite of AI. How we can do that. So let's start with the first aspect, and I'll be a little bit quick. The clear business objective. Now, what would be the business objective? My business objective is one which is very common, is like industry is moving towards the AI. I need to align with it. Okay. Which will help me to save the cost, which will help me to bring the good customer experience, right? Which will help me to manage the risk, compliance, right? And then sustainability. So this kind of a very high level, you can say the thoughts would be around that. So based on that, you can bring under the digital transformation program, or you can bring under the any kind of a initiative for a one particular area. That's up to you. So that clear business objective we have to understand. In a ITSM area, it is very much important to understand which area we are going to hit. Are we going to implement this AI for the processes, infrastructure monitoring, compliance check, risk management? So because ITSM has a lot of things, right? And then that also very, very important. And this, based on that, the business objective is actually get changed. The next part that we need to understand is, am I having a good data repository with me? And that called the data preparation. And see, guys, as I said, AI is not something like, okay, there is an AI tool I implemented and it started resolving the incidents problem. No, it's going to take the data from your side, right? So data that you are holding with you, the data that you have stored, the data that you have get based on your learning. So that data preparation you have to do. So you have to pull out the historical data, you have to see the quality of a data, you have to create the proper data modeling. If there is a different places where you have kept the data, if there is any relationship integration. So basically the data preparation is one of the important aspect that we need to achieve once we have the objective in the place. The second is what kind of a data I hold, because that's going to help us in the next phase, which is nothing but the technological introduction or say technology introduction. Now, see, guys, there are n number of AI platforms available. As I said, okay, in a ITSM area, I'll say that ServiceNow tool do have the AI machine learning. Then there is a BMC Helix, which also has the AI machine learning. Then there is a Ivanti. Then there is a phrase service. IBM Watson AI Ops is one of the important or one of the famous tool for the AI implementation, which help us with the predictive analysis and escalation management and a number of things that can be performed, right? So what kind of a platform, and not only then ITSM only or say ticket management tool perspective only, but then say infra perspective also. Like we have Splunk, we have the Dynatrace, we have the Mooch Soft or something like that is there. Then Big Panda is there, which take care of the alerts. And I think Mooksoft is one of the tool which take care of the noise cancellation automatically. So those kind of things we need to understand that what kind of a tool or the technology I'm going to use. Okay. Then second thing comes the compatibility, obviously. So how my tools are compatible. If you're having a legacy, then that is the first thing you need to sort it out, because you can it's very become a complex solution if you have the lot of tools involved and then those are not able to integrate. A lot of APIs are used, data is flowing from one to other, then data loss happens and data models are not same. So we need to understand the compatibility of these tools, right? And the last but not least is the how you want to place these solutions, because you are just not going to have one tool, you may have a multiple tool to collect the data. So is it a on-premise is the best option, cloud is the best option or not? See, one thing we need to keep in this technology, always keep one thing, guys, with you is TCO to TCC. So total cost of ownership, currently how much I am holding. And if I go on AI, so what is the total cost of my consumption? That called the TCC. So can I achieve that? Okay, because that's what your ultimate goal should be. Fine. Then obviously the skill set and teams. Now AI expertise. Many people say that, okay, Praveen, so AI expertise means do I need to know the tool? Yes, so there are different layers in the AI expertise. One, you should have a knowledgeable person about the domain. Then what I can say about that particular tool feature. So we call it a techno-functional guy who understand the feature of a tool. He may not implemented that, but he understand that. But his main purpose is the business acumen, like how business will utilize it. Okay, so that kind of expertise we need. We need the people who understand the tool configuration of it, right? We understand that we need the people who do the integration of it. So that skill set and team setting is the next aspect. Then obviously the security and compliance. Remember, guys, you are going to share the data, right? Because everything is going to driven through data. So the data privacy is become one of the major aspect here. Like what kind of a data I'm sharing, then you have to define the it's like confidentiality, non-confidentiality, share with the public, private, a number of things are there. And similarly the access control, at what level of a control I can give it to the particular tool to access the data. As I gave the example of next thing tool, it just access your hardware performance data, it doesn't access anything else. So that kind of then restrictions we have to think about. Another important thing, we started with the objective, we went in the data preparation, we talk about the technology, then we talk about the what kind of a resources, like a human resources I have, we talk about the privacies and compliance. The important thing which comes again here in, and see now this particular change management we have kept in between, we are not kept in the last. The reason behind is now this is the time like I need to understand the definition of value for me as a consumer and the supplier, right? Like who's going to prepare a solution. So what would be my change management plan? Who are the people going to be impacted? a positive impact, bad impact, what kind of a tools are going to be off shell, what kind of a tools are going to be out of the scope, right? And based on that, then I need to plan my training programs also. So these are not only the training program to understand the tool, but also to understand the solution. So that's what we need to keep. The continuous improvement definitely talk about, if you are not able to measure anything, then you will not able to tell that it is good or bad. And that is the reason, guys, it's very, very important. Any solution, it's not only for AI, but any solution that we implement, there has to be measurable targets in the place. If you cannot measure, it means you have not delivered. You have to understand that. So now people will say that there are sentiments and all, but still nowadays we calculate the NPS. It's a sentiment data, right? It's a IT experience data. But again, we have to put that under some kind of figures and facts, which will help us to take the further decisions. And that's why this continuous improvement and monitoring is important, which talk about the what are the measurement metrics that I can keep for this particular solution. And for that, what would be my feedback loop? Now, feedback loop will be operational level and strategic level. Like sometime I'll take a feedback from the business that how they see this solution is coming in. Sometime I'll definitely reach to the operation people who are going to use this solution on the ground. So that kind of a feedback loop I need to define on. Now, till this, we were talking about from the our perspective that how I can individually stand, what is my capability as a supplier to deliver any kind of AI solution. But we cannot forget the fact that we alone are not a part of the service. There are the different vendors, right? There are the different kind of people which can provide us the solution. Also, some vendors or our colleague or the other supplier or the competitor which are part of our service, they may have also have some kind of competences with it, right? They may have some kind of capabilities with it. So we need to evaluate that also. Like if this is the solution I want to take it on the ground, then which is the best vendor? Okay, and as you know that because it's a technological thing, proof of concept is very, very much common, right? Like we can definitely ask them, hey, can you just come up with some smaller part of it? And so that kind of a thing you need to understand. Based on this journey, guys, you have to come up with your roadmap, and which will help you to give the budgeting. The important aspect in the budgeting is the technology selection, resource onboarding, or the resources you're already having, and then some kind of a license, privacy related things that you need to buy. I think that is the major aspects I'll put, which will help to define the budget. And based on that, we do the roadmap. Now, with this, the last but not the least part is we cannot forget the ethical guidance. Okay, what it mean that as we are bringing a tool to take over the human intelligence or to take over the day-to-day job that human are doing, there are some kind of ethical things. Like from who human, I can write take a NDA, right? I can put some kind of a controls on it. I can put the biometrics there. Some kind of a ethical guidelines I can bring and tell that, hey, this is how you have to work. I can restrict on the access part. Similarly, we have to see that the implementation of AI is not crossing the line which will impact human, right? Which will impact law, which will impact law and regulation. So that ethical guidelines we need to come up with, and to make sure that the guidelines get followed, there has to be a governance framework in the place. The framework that will help to understand that who stand where, who is the person to is the authorized person, and those kind of things. Okay, so guys, this is very high level. You can say the task or the activity that individual needs to keep in a mind when you are thinking to move towards the AI. Okay, so an important aspect is like every tool has its dependencies, every tool has its requirement. Am I able to fulfill that requirement or fulfill that requirement? That is the question, and that is the answer you will get here. Okay, that you it will help you to understand that are you ready for AI. Now the step this data preparation, if you don't have these kind of things in the place, I think that then you need to fix first. You may not have the expertise, then you have to bring the expertise. Your tool technologies are not compatible, then you have to do that. See, that's how you have to go step by step approach towards the AI. Yep. Okay, so with this prerequisite, the last point that we talked about, the ethical things. Now let's understand that what exactly industry talk about it, what kind of a compliance considerations that are around the AI. Okay, and there are these five different aspects that everyone followed in the AI world when they are implementing the AI solution. The first one is the ethical principles, which is nothing but being transparent, fair, okay, and accountability. Now, important thing is like if something goes wrong because of it, then that particular solution or the solution owner or that company or they has to be accountable for it. Okay, and that's very important thing. Under the ethical principles, it also brings the human emotions. It also brings the harm to human, harm to any living thing. So is it like going to impact our particular day-to-day emotions or any kind of a human related stuff come under the ethical principles. Okay, your solution should not be threat to humanity or human race which is around. Yeah. Then data privacy, as we did just discuss about, is like how you are going to collect the data, right? Is there a GDPR already in the place? So general data privacy is already in the place or not, right? Then am I using the personal data? And remember, guys, many times people say that the data which is related to the finance, money, bank, that data is very crucial, which is true. But anything which is in the ecosystem can be crucial. So even though my name, my designations, right, it could be crucial. People can use it or misuse those things. So don't consider that okay, anything which just hold the value kind of a thing like major like money related thing, only then that I have to be taken care, rest informed. No. If you're dealing with the medical related data, right? The medical histories, reports, that become more crucial if you are dealing with some kind of a legal company related data, right? So some kind of a data which is what I can say is any kind of a contracts, any kind of a legal fights. I think that data become important. So any data which is a part of your ecosystem become the important data, and you have to define the data privacy around that. The algorithmic bias is nothing but see now you are developing a solution which is going to be do the job for you as a human is getting replaced or say human is going to get some data from that tool to take the decisions or do their daily job. The algorithm that we write has to be neutral, has to be meant for the purpose that you want to achieve. It shouldn't be the way like, okay, you put any data, it will give the green result. No. Like, in India, elections start, everyone says that, okay, you press any EVM button, it goes to the XYZ party. So nothing like that. So we need to understand that any kind of algorithm that you guys are preparing, that has to be purposeful. Like, okay, this is the solution. So if I want to monitor the alerts, okay, then what would be my threshold? And based on that, some kind of a algorithm will run and it will generate some flags and it will help me to do some kind of a predictive analysis. So that's how it works. You cannot just show because the tool is involved and it can be configured the way you want. You should not use it in a wrong way. So that's what it means, algorithm bias. Then transparency and explainability is again, you need to be transparent. You should know that if I onboard this tool, then what kind of a result it's going to give me, what kind of involvement of the features is going to be have, and if something goes wrong, then yeah, who's the accountable or how the accountability lies. And the last but not least is the international collaboration. So there has to be understanding that there are different laws in the different countries, and we are going to see those after this slide. Every country or the major region has the different regions has the different laws implemented for the AI. So there has to be international collaboration because you are not sitting in one part or one room and implementing the AI. Our solutions are global solutions, and that's the reason we need to understand the dependencies of different organizations, dependencies of the different laws in the different countries. And that's why it's called the international collaboration. So these are some compliance checks you can say we need to keep in mind when we are talking about the AI implementation, which will take us to the quickly at a high level. What are the different laws are currently available in the different part of the world? Okay, so these are some examples or some things I have given pull out from the different sources. So one is they say in USA. So USA has a decentralized model. What it means that they said that any particular sector they have to take care of their particular AI implementation, and there are laws for that. So just for example, for FTC, which is a Federal Trade Commission, they have to take care of their consumer protection and safe and fair and transparent business practice in the field. So they will take care of their own. Similarly, there is a Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They will take care of the implementation AI and related the laws around it. Okay. If I talk about the China, which is already way beyond us, like they are already in a AI from many years. They want to be a global R&D, or you can say the leading innovation center by 2023. So they want to guide the whole world, kind of a thing. They already have the cyber security laws. They have the laws which are driven by the government. There are the punishments and all that. Now, if I talk about India, our government has also, like Indian government has also introduced some laws around it. So Niti Aayog is our one of the body which has come up with a national strategy for artificial intelligence, and I have given the links here. So and in 20, and see, as AI involvement was more and more in our day-to-day work in IT world, non-IT world, they started adding the different laws there. So you can see in 2021 they have added the principle and responsibility of AI, and then operationalization and principle for responsible AI. Then in 2023, they talked about the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, because a lot of things are online, your personal data and all those things. So that's how every country is evaluating the involvement of AI, and that's how they are coming up with what I can say the different laws and regulations to make sure that it can be controlled. You must have seen there are a number of different movies. Like I recently saw one movie called Atlas. It's actually very scary if the control gets shifted from human to AI and AI start control everything. So I think that's why it's very important that when you are implementing the AI, and see, you and me are not much bothered. Most of the time I have seen when I talk with the people, they say that, yeah, why too bothered? Because our AI implementation is on what? Incident data, problem data, like that we do, right? But then think about if AI start taking part in the like medical industries, right? They have the robots and all those things, and AI driven operations are happening. If that taken over by the AI, then what will happen? So I think we have to see the holistically how the involvement of AI and what kind of laws are there. That's one point. Second, you need to understand that where any part of the world you are sitting, what are the laws are already in the place? What are the laws which are coming? Okay, and am I aligned with it? It's not only the GDPR, it's not only the data privacy law, but I need to understand that the ethicals, right? Ethics that needs to be taken care of through AI implementation. So that also are become important here. Yeah. So that's around the I'll say uh, the different compliance checks we are having. So majorly, so these are the five aspects, and then country-wise, these aspects are implemented under some law. Some have proposed it, some are already having it, some have given the responsibility to individual sectors to manage their own. So that's how exactly this particular thing has been set up. So guys, if I just stop here and recall that what we have seen. So first we understood what exactly the ITSM. Is it only ITL? The answer is no. It's more than ITL. It could talk about the governance. It could talk about the COVID. It could talk about the ISO kind of a things. It talks about the technologies. It already talk about the AI and automation. So that's what ITSM is already in the place. Okay, what is missing is like where we stand with that ITSM. What is the maturity of that ITSM? So it's not only the process maturity, but it's the ecosystem maturity. What kind of a tools I have, right? Then we have seen about the AI. So AI is already like machine learning is there. Then different things are already in the place. We talked about the what are the preventers and then escalators, like which stop us to do the AI, while there are some kind of areas which help us to as a create a platform for it. So we talk about the ESM, we talk about the digital transformation and all those things, right? Then we have seen the prerequisites. Like if I need to set up a AI in ITSM world, then what are the different prerequisites? So we start with the objective, then data correction, collection, then we talk about the technology, and that's how we went, right? And then we talk about the ethics, ethical guidelines and all that. Under this particular thing, we have seen like these are the five important aspects which are defined as a compliance checks or the ethical guideline checks for the AI. We talk about the ethical principles, data privacy, algorithm biasness, transparency, expandability, and international collaboration. We have seen across the world where what exactly things are happening in brief. With this, now let's quickly see some examples where the AI can be implemented or already implemented, not can be implemented. These are the, I have just brought four different cases to show you uh, where exactly the AI is implemented. And now You can probe your thoughts, and then you can go back and keep thinking, okay, where I stand in the ITSM, what is the maturity of my ecosystem, and with this few examples, how I can implement the solutions or propose the AI use of AI, right? So this is from the ITSM area. Like when I say the ITSM, it's purely about the ITL base. Okay. So I should not call ITSM, then I should call the ITL driven service management, where majority you can see that it's talk about the area where your service desk is facing the challenges with the high volume of service requests and incidents. Very common thing, right? So the case study is solved by the IBM Watson AI tool, which brought the three features of it, which are the inbuilt feature of this tool: virtual assistance, automated ticketing, and predictive analytics, which helps us to reduce definitely the delays. It added the far faster resolution time. Again, guys, now when I'm reading this, and if you just try to connect this to the prerequisite that we talked, what do you think? It exactly, you can achieve this phase only if you have that data preparation phase properly completed, right? You have that technology thing which is you have rightly selected. Okay, so that's how it's everything is related. Now when I talk about the predictive analytics, I cannot just predict on the existing data. I need to have a historical data, right? And that's how the predictivity happens. Automated ticketing. For that, what is the categorization of that particular ticketing already having in the ticketing tool? What is the categorization, subcategorization is there? I always say one example is like laptop. If anything is not working on my laptop, like say my Microsoft Outlook is not working on laptop, it fall under the category laptop. But that may be not the right category. The category could be the network issue, license issue, access issue, right? So I think this kind of sorting out the things prior to jump into such solution is very, very important. Because if you don't do that, your AI is just going to pick it. It's going to run on some algorithm, it's going to run on some rules that you have defined, and some analytics it will run, and it will just pick some with text reading and all that. That's why it's important that first you need to mature your ecosystem quite better and then jump into. Okay, so another similarly we have this where the again the handling and the growth number of the incidents are high. There is another example I have brought it like so this is particularly where the alerts were managed manually. So we have implemented the Splunk AI, which is another tool which help us to real time monitoring. So it keeps showing us the dashboard kind of a thing, or where exactly what is happening. It maintain the logs, anomaly detection if something goes wrong, if there is some kind of anomalies are around, it get detected from it. Again, it has the predictive analytics. See, I have seen one thing in the ITSM area which is very common is the predictive analysis. The reason is very simple. The data that we have in our ecosystem is so huge that we can utilize that data to go ahead and implement any kind of a predictive analytic kind of option. Okay, and that's why every AI tool or say any tool which is having an AI in ITSM, like the service now, Splunk, and they all talk about the predictive analysis. Okay. Now the another two interesting examples that I wanted to give is like quickly is one is the HR related. And that's why I was telling like we have to think more than ITSM, ESM kind of thing, like enterprise service management. So, one of the common problem HR recruiters face, like HR recruiting team faces the uh, resumes, analyzing those resumes, right? The screening of the resumes. So there is this tool called metrics. It actually take care of these things. It helps you to screen the resume based on the criteria that you have selected. So you pick up the words. Like if your requirement is 8 to 10 years of a year of experience, so it will look for only those resumes. Rest resumes it will just take out. Skill set you can set up, it will take care of those skill set, right? Not only this will help the screening quickly. So manual screening is not required. It quit the screening part. It also based on that schedule the interviews. Okay, and then it also give us the prediction about like which is the most matched. I'm sure you must have seen this particular thing is already available on LinkedIn. There is a if you are an author kind of a subscription or premier subscription on LinkedIn, whenever you apply for any job for a LinkedIn, no, it actually give you that show me the match, and then whatever your LinkedIn profile, it pick up that profile as a baseline and then compare it with the job description and then tell you the which skill set are missing and what is the percentage of job matching. That's exactly we are talking here. Okay. Then another thing is the finance related. So this is like frauds. Nowadays, the cyber security is one of the big aspect. Frauds are happening. So which is the right call? Then what kind of transactions are keep happening? What is a request that has been come? Is it a valid request, not request? So those kind of things are there, and they use that data. I didn't work that much in the finance part, but yeah, this is one of the case. At least I thought I'll showcase you. But yeah, that's how, guys. So in nutshell, just to give a conclusion of this overall as a session or some discussion or a thought processes. See, yes, we should implement AI. There is no question that we should or we should not. We should. The question is, am I there? As an organization, am I standing there? As an organization, is my ecosystem standing there? Am I organization where the budget is in the place and they are okay to implement? Am I the organization who understand what kind of tools are important? Okay, so I think these questions are mainly needs to be worked upon, and then you need to jump. If you are a supplier and not a customer, as a customer, you need to think that what is the investment and all those things. As a supplier, you need to understand that the solution which I'm going to build is definitely going to help or not. Okay, because the help is based on the data, and do I have the data in the place or not? So those kind of things are there. Just because someone is asking like, hey, there has to be a solution, I think you should not jump. It's my personal opinion. Yep. So with this, guys, I'll just stop here, and thank you for listening. I hope it at least gave you the chance to provoke some thoughts, understand your as is situation as an organization, and whatever the digital programs which are happening in your organization, that how you want to take it forward. If anything missing, then you can add that in your program. If everything is in the place, then you are already on a good path. And I think that's how we have to proceed towards the AI. So yeah, thank you for your time, guys. Over to you, Mayur.
Thank you so much, Pravin, for this wonderful session. So before we move ahead for the Q&A, just allow me 2 minutes to share my screen.
Yeah.
So we have lots of questions in a chat box, but before that, I would like to buy 2 to 5 minutes.
That's not stopping. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so whatever you have attended just now was the small part of our training in Agile ITSM. So this is a comprehensive training which we provide for spans for 2 days of virtual live sessions. So designed to equip you with the essential skills and knowledge. So, coming to the investment required for this valuable certification, we can say. So, the standard cost for this program is 45,500 INR, which comes around 545 USD. However, we believe in making high quality education accessible to all. So that's why we are offering a special discount, allowing you to enroll in this program for just rupees 29,500 INR, which comes around 353 USD. So again, you can just scan here. You will uh, get redirected to the main page of this certification details. Considering the time limit and respecting everyone's time limit, we will just quickly move ahead with the upcoming batches. It's just not about the ITL or Agile ITSM. We have many other training batches which is going on, which will be starting in the month of July. So that's DevOps. Then we have Gen AI, PMP, SIAM, FinOps, Prince 2, ITIL4. So you can just get in contact with the concerned person and enroll yourself for this certifications. So again, we have one more program for just known as refer and earn. If you are referring this program to any one of your colleagues, so you will have a special discount on the preferred certification course, plus you will have a cashback on that certification course amount. So that's a quick refer and run policy which we have in the Novel Vista regarding all the certifications. It's not specific to all. Whatever the certification program you are choosing upon, it's applicable to each and everyone. So that's a very quick glance over the Agile ITSM certification course and other certification course which we are providing. in the month of July and coming months. Okay, so we will just come back to the Q&A session. If you have any questions, audience, we have a floor open for Q&A.
Maybe I'll ask you to plus read out the like questions which is been asked in the chat box first, then we will take live questions as well.
Sure. Okay, so we have one question. We have one question from Abhinav Mukherjee. Will the cost of implementing AI in ITSM be justified over having human resource doing the same job in ITSM? Will
Okay.
AI save cost or it is just for better experience?
Okay, so yeah, so that's a good question. So see, we need to understand that where we are implementing the AI. Now, when we talk about the cost, so take example of a service desk. So what kind of a service desk you are having? Are you having just a cash dispatch kind of a service desk? Okay, then what is the cost is actually put in there. The second question could be like, am I having the 1.5 like expertise kind of a service desk where my first call resolution is happening quite quickly? So that kind of a thought process will help you that should I invest in AI or my current model which is going is sufficient with some inbuilt AI functionality like predictive analysis and all those things of say ServiceNow tool or any tool, is that suffice the purpose? So that's how I think we need to make sure marry them with each other. Otherwise, definitely say AI is going to cost a little bit more, and that's why we need to understand that how I can balance it with my existing resources I have as a tool and the people, and what kind of a solution I'm giving, where I'm implementing it. I hope that at least just answers your question. Yep.
Okay, we have another question from Ved Prakash Verma. What are the key use cases for using AI in ITSM apart from categories, perspective analysis?
Okay, so see, you pick up anything. Change management is one of the area, right? So you can do the text mining and come up with the solution for the change management if your change management failure rate is higher, or if your change management is adding the incidents. Okay, so you need to do the analysis on that, and then based on that, you can create a data repository where you can come up with the trend of a changes in particular area which are causing, say, any kind of failures in future. So like that, change management is one of the definitely a case that we can come up with. Knowledge management is another thing where KB articles we have to write, right? Like people based on the experience they write it. But why to do that? If you are having a good closure codes, if you are having a good closure notes in the place, run the text mining, text analysis on that, and then come up with the different knowledge articles prepared by the AI. So these are some examples other than categories.
We collision detection, right, in change management. So AI is different with that collision detection.
No, so that's exactly I said, right? So you are using the tool to detect that. So if you are not using the tool, then that's one of the area like you can do. Like take example of forward schedule of changes, right? Then that's exactly then can be managed through AI. Dependencies can be managed through AI, a process. So like that, it can be done. I was giving from the once the change is implemented. If there is a failure rate and you see the incidents always happens, then that can be used. That data can be used to predict the area where the concern is. That's what I mean.
Okay, moving ahead with the next question. We have question from Anshuman. I am also looking for what can we achieve in ITSM for AI. In other words, what are those value added features we can expect from AI for ITSM practices? We should discuss this objective prior to the prerequisites.
Okay, so as I said, right? So now I'm a little bit confused here. So are you saying like that has to be above the prerequisite? You can put anywhere. That's perfectly fine. Second thing is like what value it can be being, see, totally based on the what kind of a tool you are having and what is the your ecosystem's maturity you're having. If your incident management has the biggest MTTR, then you are not yet there to implement the any kind of AI process on the incident management. So wait for it. First, bring the MTTR properly down. So that kind of a thing. So that kind of a value add you can do. See, there will be always a traditional or holistic approach that we need to follow to set up our ecosystem in a way that then the tool can be implemented. If you bring the tool to solve these basic traditional issues like MTTR or say first call resolution issues, then it's going to be failed because AI is not having its own intelligence immediately, right? It's going to take a time, and then the expectation become high if you say that hey, AI is coming in, everything will be sorted out. It's not like that. It's not that straight. So that's the reason I always go back and say that hey guys, clear the basics and then jump into the any kind of a tools.
Okay, hope Anshuman, Praveen have answered your question properly.
Um, hi, Prabin. Yeah, thank you so much. So basically, I do understand. I mean, I completely agree with you. What I was looking for, maybe some of the examples which you had already given, like forward schedule of changes,
Yeah,
those we do anyway, even without AI support. Within, I mean, maybe manually, or we have some tools who are doing that anyway,
yeah,
which are not
yeah,
pretty much bigger task.
yeah.
What I'm looking for, I mean, for example, in our practical IT, IT industries for ITSM, like, like risk assessment, for example.
Yes,
One of the taking,
yes,
okay, risk
yes,
assessment is always a questionable across the companies for the change management. Okay, you
yes.
put any number of questions when it is still difficult considering what kind of changes coming. Okay, like for such questions, such issues, can AI be helpful? Okay, considering what kind of maturity we have, what our data set we have, I'm keeping that away at this moment,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
because that is up to us. We'll make it, but first of all, we should know what are the great features we can get from AI, and then only we can make it happen.
Yeah,
I
so
hope you
see,
align with me.
yeah, I got your point. So see, there are the two things. Then you need to understand the ITSM AI tools and its feature. That's one. What tools offer you, and then how you can implement that in a different area. That's one. And then there are some areas like you just highlighted the risk and compliance area. Or take example, which is another crucial area is the SAM, software asset management area,
Yes,
right? Where the license cost is always a question. Like how many people are using a license? What is the prediction that we can do, how many people are coming on board? So I think that's how we need to balance it, like which area AI provides the best feature and which is the area is a concern in my organization. So that's the where the thought process and the leadership should come sit together and then coming with the that business objective. And that's why I started with the business objective, like which is the area in ITSM that you want to tackle it, right? So many people just always bound with the operational processes, but that's not required. As I said, Sam is the one area we talk about the HR and other things. So, and that's how then you should do the reverse engineering and identify the which tool set you have and then accordingly. So I can see pass some examples to you. There are a lot of lists I do have with me, which can maybe provoke your thoughts. But yeah, that I can do if you want. Yep.
understood. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Moving up to next question we have from Kashish. I just started with prompt engineering, but now I am not striking with ideas. What can I do with it? Please tell.
Yeah. See, you have to just look around, talk with the people, you'll find a number of issues are happening. See, the important thing is like, please don't feel that everything, there are no escalations happening. There are all the tickets are getting closed, SLAs are going good. It means everything is fine. No, I think you have to be a little bit observant. Prompt engineering will help you with some kind of like, it's like a question answer. But I think the experience that you are gaining by your surroundings, I think that's a bigger teacher. So just think from that perspective and you'll get more and more. And tools are available. You can just use those tools. Yeah. I think there is this question, every organization faces problem for having raw data while implementing the CMDB. How AI can help? Again, see, AI will not correct the data, right? If you are putting the wrong entries, there is no correction at the first place, then AI will not help it out. Okay, so first we need to, and that's what I was saying is like the data model. I talked about the data model. The data model that you are creating and the tool which is uploading the data in that data model, or the discoveries which are running. I think that is the basic thing. First, we need to jot down on the paper like what is the naming conventions, right? What kind of a data I need to store? Am I covering all categories, subcategories in it? So this kind of analysis has to be done prior bringing the AI. AI is just going to give a feature to support this your thought process. Okay, and that's what. So if you're thinking like, okay, AI will correct the data, yes, it will be correct data with some customization, coding and all, but you are making it more complex. Instead of that, you correct the basics. You correct your data model. You correct the way you are capturing the data. You are running the discoveries. You are uploading the data in the CMDB. What is the naming convention for hardware? What is the laptop? What is the server? I think that has to be in the first place set up properly, and then we will talk about the data and then data quality correction and all that. Bringing tool to do it, again, it has its own way and then complexity. No need to make it complex. I think we just need to first sort it out traditionally and then go ahead. Yeah. Anyways, I think tool like a service now help us in a very longer extent in managing the CMDB and all that. So it really have a good features. Yeah, some features are costly, but yeah, that's all. Okay.
We have another question from Vamsi. That's right now HRs are using ATS software, right, to select our resumes. Is it good to use to select the resumes or not? And can you give some tips how to get a neat resume for the freshers? Could you please give some tips for resume preparation?
Okay, see, you can it again based on, so there are a lot of things you can put it on chat GPT based on, see, it's very one simple tip I'll give you. First, you should have that scheme where you are applying the job. Second thing, based on the job description, your resume has to be aligned to it. You can use any chat GPT, any kind of a AI. Just put your job description and hit enter and ask to prepare a resume. It will help you to prepare the resume. After that, the important thing that most of the people don't do is customize it the way your expertise are. Many times people just put the job description, ask AI to create a nice resume for based on the job description. It's created. But then what about you who's going to face the interview, right? I think that cleanness you need to bring in your resume. AI will give you the best way, wording, everything. But I think ultimately it's your experience and what you know that has to be reflected in the resume. Rest you can get GTs there which create a good resumes. You get the templates and all that. So you can just search and you'll get a lot. But I think important thing is like what you know. That has to be a part of your resume.
Okay, Vamsi have raised his hand. If you have any another question, Vamsi.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Right now, sir has answered my question, right, about that resume. We can go and use the help with the chat GPT, right? But still, we are using the chat GPT also to create our resume with a career brand. But sometimes also when we are uploading in the Naukri or the LinkedIn platform also, still our resume is not reaching to the company also, like some MNC companies like IBM, Microsoft, Google, all these things. Why still we are rejecting our resumes?
Okay, so have you, so let's go in other way around. Have you checked the job description posted by Microsoft, Google, or all these big shots?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and have
According
you
to
did
that,
the
whatever the
uh,
yeah,
okay, and accordingly you have created it.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. But still, our resume is not reaching to the HRs.
There has to be some kind of a thing. Then we're saying it's like, and see, we need to understand the demand and supply also. Okay, means
Okay, sir.
that you must have seen that one post get like 1,000 resumes. So think about the probability that the resume is getting screened for one position or two positions, and what is the probability of your resumes to get selected. So all those kind of things are there. If everyone is having those keywords in it, do you really think that everyone's resume will get selected? It's not like that. In that also, then they will run something which will then again scrutinize something, and then the list will go down. That's how it will happen.
Okay, we have one special request from Swapnil. Every organization faces problem having raw data while implementing CMDB. How AI can help?
We just talked about, right? So see, first thing is the important aspect of CMDB, your data model has to be good, which is aligned with the data that you want to maintain in the CMDB, right? So what kind of a categories, CI names, relationships, and all those things. That work has to be done properly. Based on that, the tool has to be implemented. And then you once started capturing the right data, and that data is helping to run your operations without any issues, like selection of a any kind of a CI, impacted CI, help you to give you the right assignment queue. I think these kind of things once started happening rightly, then you should think about AI, because bringing the AI will start immediately pulling out that data and then start generating those things. So if you're not yet there, then I think first you need to sort it out that into the ITSM tool, being it's a service now, HPSM, BMC, any ITSM tool you are using, and then think about bringing the AI there.
Okay. So considering the time limit, I would like to wrap up this Q&A, but also we have some question and answers, questions for the certification. If you could just unmute yourself and quickly ask those questions on certification.
I want to get ITIL before certification. What is the procedure? At least two people will be there from my side.
Okay. So Chandrakant, if you could just help Ved Prakash with his
Yes.
query.
Yes, I'll just share my details on chat box, right? You can reach out to us tomorrow. Definitely, you will be getting the proper information for ITL-V4 Foundation, right? Hello.
Yeah, okay, sure.
May I ask a question regarding the course?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I would like to know, while the ITL4 is the basis of ITSM, and we are integrating AI with ITSM itself, why is the course price almost equivalent or a little higher than that? I saw it something around 29,500 rupees. So I would like to know the
No, if you talk about the standard price which Mayuri has mentioned, that is 45,000 something. So we are here giving the special discount for the person who is attending our webinar, right? Okay, and for ITL also for foundation, if you check on PeopleSat website, it is 39 like a 380 GBP, right? It's coming around 40,000. That is for only voucher cost. And
honestly, okay,
yeah,
please go ahead.
yeah. So and if you go with us for the live training and certification, it will cost you somewhere around if you're from India, then it will cost you somewhere around 30,000, including tax, training, and certification all. And for other countries, like they have a 3 zones. For US and other locations, they have a different prices.
More than comparison with ITL and the discount portion, I would like to know what is the justification for the pricing. It's a 16-hour course. Why is the course price, I would say so high?
Justification, you can say, like every certification bodies, they have their own exam costs. So most of the certification body or the course which you take from any of the certification body, 80 to 90% prices goes to the certification body, from where we get the voucher for main examination. So it can be if you are going for any Gen AI course right now, so even the course duration is very less, but certification costs are very high as per demand. But if you talk about the justification of these two courses, it is just only because certification cost is higher from that particular certification body. That's the reason we are charging that one.
Understood. In that case, may I request you to share the bifurcation of the cost, or is it training versus the certification cost?
Yeah, definitely. You can just drop me a message and I'll also just share my email ID. Definitely you will get the proper response on that. Okay.
May I have your name, please? I'm speaking to Chandrakant, right?
Yeah, Chandrakant, yes.
Okay, I will reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, anyone have anything to discuss? Any questions from the ITSM or any other request? Please.
Okay, if no any further questions, we would like to wrap up the webinar. Thank you so much, Praveen, for your precious time, for taking out the precious time and sharing all this informative details with our audience. I hope the audience present over here are leaving here with not just new knowledge, but also with the sense of inspiration and motivation to apply what you have learned. Also, I have shared one feedback form link in the chat box. So I would request to please take out a moment to fill out that feedback survey. I have shared in the chat box. Your input is valuable and in helping us to improve and tailor future sessions to better meet our needs. For the details related to the certification and course, soon tomorrow morning, everyone will get a mail related to the course, and you can connect with Chandrakant and the team for the specific course. Thank you so much, everyone, for your valuable time.
Thank you, Mary, for
Thank you.
organizing the wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.